Hello and welcome to another one of my films. This one, it's been on the list. Today we're going to go to battle, literally. Right, so with what I'm doing today, the key date right here is 27th of October 1066, when William the Conqueror landed with 700 ships, which contained nearly 15,000 soldiers. He landed at a place called Pevensey Beach, which is roughly just directly behind us. And the battle took place at a place called Selknam Hill, which is where he was headed. This is what's known actually as the High Weald of Kent. And I'm not from around here, but it is surprisingly more hilly than you expect. I kind of feel it more appropriate to walk in, if you get what I mean. Okay, let's go for a basic explanation. So, on the 5th of January 1066, Edward the Confessor dies. He doesn't leave any direct heirs. Now, the Anglo-Saxon, for that read English, Earl of Wessex, Harold Godwinson, was sort of like basically by marriage a relative of King Canute. Now, what was decided by sort of the elders, so to speak, was that Harold should be the one anointed king, and as such he was crowned the next day. Now, there's two other protagonists in this story. I'll go to the Norwegian one first. So Harald Hardrada. Now, he too was a descendant of King Canute, and upon hearing that Harold, that's the English one, had took the throne, he arranged for an invasion. Now, that actually happened at a place called the Battle of Stamford Bridge, and just happened a couple of weeks before Harold Godwinson had to come down here to fight William the Conqueror, who in the interim had also heard of Harold Godwinson taking up the throne, and again was perturbed because he felt Harold had actually promised him the throne in 1064, but Harold felt that it was under duress, he'd been captured, and so this promise, this oath, wasn't valid. So after the defeat of the Norwegian king, everything then headed here. Wow. Just look at Kent, by the way. It's wonderful. Oh, and William the Conqueror obviously was still William of Normandy before the invasion, because he'd not invaded. But as you can sort of see, it was very messy, with a lot of entwined dynasties desperate for the crown. It's like the calm before the storm, isn't it? Now, when I arrive at battle, I've tried to give a little background of the history. You know, for me, it's about trying to introduce people to it. That's what I hope you enjoy with this film. But I'm just really excited about the physical venue and just being able to sort of take it all in. So, yeah, this is going to be special. It's almost becoming a film on its own, this, isn't it? Spectacular. So, why Battle of Hastings and it took place in battle? Well, Hastings, I figure, was the nearest town, the nearest reference point, but then subsequently that area that we're going to was known as Battle. As I'm finding, Kent does go up and down a lot, but one of the generally agreed things is that after the Battle of Stamford Bridge, Harold brought his army too quickly, really, down to fight William, and they were exhausted. I'm really glad I've done it this way. It's really sort of set the mood for me. Nearly there. Right, 1, 2, 3, and here we go. Let's go in. Just come out of that amazing building. So yeah, there was a monastery built to commemorate what happened, so I'm just going to go up into the gatehouse, which you can occasionally do. So as near as what is now a school pretty much where we are. This is where the final action happened in the battle. Wonderful look over the Weald there. It's beautiful. By the way, the audio guide appears to be included with your entrance fee, which was just over £15 for non-English Heritage members. Yep, got to be honest, this is a big one for me, so I'm really excited. Right, so at this point is the beginning of the battlefield walk, and there are information points around the battlefield detailing various stages. I will do that, but what I'll just do now is take you around the Abbey and give you some shots of that. Everything's really well signed, by the way, as well as the audio tour. This is a relief. It's very hot outside. I still can't get over that this really, in effect, was built as a way of apologising to God for all that violence. But that was how things were back then. As with so many monasteries in the 1530s, the Dissolution Act meant many were finished. This is known as the Harold Stone, and it's the spot where traditionally it is said that he actually fell. It then subsequently became the high altar of Battle Abbey. Can't resist. Get on the wall. There's the lovely town of Battle. There's that lovely church as well. Right, so the Abbey has been absolutely fantastic, but now, literally, let's go back to the battle. It's strange, isn't it, how the place has kind of become so sanitised, but there was so much violence here, but it is quite beautiful. Right, okay, so this is Senlac Hill. So this is where the English faced up to the Normans for the first time. And the first charge was made to the sound of trumpets. Wow, it's quite something. So this is sort of the view in the direction the Normans would have come at. Big difference was they fought on horseback, whereas the English generally were on foot. Harold and William had sort of similar sized professional armies, but that was the key difference, how they physically fought. The Normans really were fighting incredibly uphill. This is very noticeable. Right, only within a few hundred meters we've considerably dropped down in height, but this was the spot where the Normans thought William was dead, and their left flank basically started to retreat. The English then chased after them. However, William saw what was going on, let his troops know he was alive, and what they did was surround all the English and kill them all. Several hours into the battle, and there was still sort of an impasse. For William, the problem was the hill. His archers had a shorter range, and his cavalry couldn't get up to speed. However, though, he had paid attention to what had happened when his left flank had run away, but then subsequently re-surrounded the English. An idea started to form. Right, so what William's idea was to actually recreate that initial fleeing of his troops, but this time they actually meant to do it. So what happened was they staged a retreat and then again surrounded a lot of the English, and again all were slaughtered. So the final act, William brings forward his archers. They engage the English foot soldiers, who not only have to face havoc from the air, but also cavalry and soldiers directly in front of them. Obviously, famously, one of these arrows kills Harold. However, though, what this does is destroy the morale of the Anglo-Saxon army, and as a consequence, they are routed by the Normans to be no more. So, here's the end of the story. Whether it's true or not, it was an arrow to the eye. The point was that William made sure that Harold was no more. And then it became the start of a whole new empire and the end of an old one. So everything from new social laws through to how land was owned, everything changed and the old English way ended. Well, what can I say other than thank you very much for coming with me to 1066 and Battle. And what can I say? It's been done wonderfully well by English Heritage, but seriously, this is such a milestone in English history. You've got to come and visit. Thanks for watching.